beings are overpowered by negative emotions. The beings wandering in samsara are my mothers. Our supplicate Mother Tara, deity of great compassion, please protect us. If the meaning of Dharma is not born in one's heart, one just follows the words of conventional meaning. We are deceived by delusory philosophical views and dharmas. Supplicate Mother Tara of perfect wisdom, please protect us. It is difficult to understand our own mind is Buddha's mind. Seeing natural mind but not familiarizing with it through practice, we are lost in our wholesome bodily activities. Supplicate Mother Tara of perfect mindfulness, please protect us. The absolute nature of mind is self-arising, known to Buddha wisdom. Yet, because of habitual grasping to dualistic conception, we are bound by it no matter what we do. Supplicate Mother Tara of non-dual wisdom, please protect us. Although we abide in the perfect meaning of absolute truth, we do not understand the interdependence of cause and effect on the relative level. We are ignorant about the true reality of phenomena. Supplicate Mother Tara of True Truth's omniscience, please protect us. Like the nature of space which is beyond all conceptual limits, the reality of all conditioned phenomena is not different from that. But there are disciples on the path who do not realize it. Supplicate Mother Tara of perfect enlightenment of the three kayas, please protect us. Okay, so now. So, do you remember which verses we are? Amanda, do you remember?
Yes, I think we're on the absolute nature of mind as self-arisen, non-dual Buddha wisdom. I think we finished on the mindfulness protection. Is that what everyone else remembers? Okay, great.
So, which one you say? Absolute nature of mind is it?
Yes, the absolute nature of mind is self-arisen, non-dual Buddha wisdom.
Okay, so that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the last way we shared this difficult to understand our own minds is Buddha's mind. So very hard to seeing that natural mind. Uh, Seeing natural mind but not familiarizing with it through practice. So we have that problem. Of course, first, like we have difficulty like introduce, our own natural mind. The condition is very hard to get. So who going to introduce our natural mind? Uh, then, so no, we have good conditions. We are lucky here. The reasons in many teacher and especially the Gachin Rinpoche share many times Mahamudra teachings. So then when he shared the teaching, always like focus for introducing our own mind. So I think you are understanding what means, our own natural mind. Uh, so then also, this teaching is also introducing our own natural mind too. So different ways, giving informations. Actually, all this each verses introducing our own natural mind. Uh, so then seeing natural mind, but we seeing the natural mind means we understand maybe intellectually, not the like we have realized, right? But we intellectually understand, but not familiarizing with it through practice. So the problem is we don't have familiarizing through the practice. So this is the all our problems, not only your problem, this everyone's problem. So who has teachings, but then they don't practice. And also when we have a difficult time, also we don't use the teaching because we don't have enough mindfulness, so we forget what we have to do. So sometimes, like due to karma, we kind of we forget because like same as Shariputra have no the Mogarpa, like I told you, the one Arhat, he has a miracle power, but he forget when he have to ready to show the miracle power. He forget that, but then the other this some no Buddhists like that time beating up his dad. So that is due to karma. So similar like that, we maybe some is like due to our karma we forget. Maybe some we don't have enough our mindfulness, awareness. So we learn lots different kind of teachings. We have so many teachings, but when we need that teaching, use our is reduced our emotion when emotion arise, or when we get something difficult situations. So when that time we needed to use our teaching what we hear, but we forget due to our not enough mindfulness. Then we don't practice too, right? And this the biggest problem with me. So I get introduced natural mind is like 1990 actually, but until now it's not practitioner. It's only follow the words. So then like that, we everyone's problem that. And then in Tibet actually, usually teachers don't talk about natural mind easily, hard to like giving these kind of teachings. So really hard to receive. Like usually the just talk about the karma cause and the effect. Okay, four thoughts meditation like that lots, and then we do create the for the actually the preliminary practice, many different kind of preliminary practices. We focus a lot about that, but who share the natural mind introduces. Not so many teachers does that, and so that's why it's hard to find the teacher who giving this introduction about teaching, talk about the natural mind. So here now we lucky because many teachers share these teachings, and we also have to recognize all this. We have how to say the good opportunity, and we are lucky, and we can receive these precious teachings. Then when we receive precious teachings, but that also not enough, right? So you have to put practice, and if we don't practice enough, then when we have difficult time, so we cannot apply our practice. Sometimes not the practice is like not strong enough practice, then whatever we apply during the difficult time but not effective. The reason is the main point is not enough we have practice. So that's also Shantideva already talked in the wisdom chapter, because even so still these emotions coming, but so this phenomena is like delusion, but still you cannot stop the desire attachment. The reason is like very weak realization emptiness. Intellectual understanding only not enough. So of course first we have to intellectually understand, then we have to meditate, practice familiarizing. But only intellectual cannot help you to remove all our difficulty and the suffering. So that's the reason we have to familiarizing with it through practice. Same is like we cook the food. The cook, you go to buy all this grocery and buy the food, then you cook the food. That's also not enough, right? Because still you're hungry. And then what do you have to do? You have to eat. So it is easy then actually cook the food and like preparing is buy all these things. But same like this, expected practice is more actually easy than this or this preliminary before like we listening, contemplate, understanding. That is more harder than I think actually practice. But just some reasons like we don't do the easy one. We always like something difficult one, complicated one we like, but we don't do the easiest, simple one. So here also see the practice, familiarizing practice is easy because as long as you recognize your natural mind, then you don't have to do anything. So everything we have to shut down, but mind doesn't like shut down. So that's the problem, right? Practice means we have to shut down, or the usually our mind, what they're doing, have to shut down. And then stay non-conceptual means shut down, right? So mind doesn't like to do that because one is like we already have habituate so strong. And see, practice is so simple, easy, but we cannot do that. So mind is follow the thoughts, emotions easy, but mind is resting is not easy. That the same like just I share with you the like see all your preparation, your food is harder than eat. So if you don't eat anyway, you still your hunger, thirsty. So like that, if we know all these teachings, but if we don't practice, still it's just same thing. Other beings like suffering. So that's the reason Jigten Songgon said here, familiarizing with it through practice. We have to practice meditate. We are lost in a wholesome worldly activity. If we don't practice it, then we lost the all the time doing these worldly activities. So that habitual act is so strong, not easy to stop. So see, this worldly activities or you nature mind, what you seeing is familiarizing, is which is easy comparing. Of course, like seeing nature mind is familiarizing is more easy than all these worldly activities. But our mind is already, you know, like other directions, so strong habituate. And that's why we go to more difficulty where we like to worldly activity that cannot easily stop that. So we all the time doing this worldly activity, but worldly activity never ever done. So even like think about in this life, until die, worldly activity never ever done. Then when we die, what is meaningful? Nothing is meaningful in there. It's all is become useless. So that thing about that way, then how we the human beings how much they has wisdom, who's ignorant, so strong ignorant. So we think we are intelligent. We think we knows everything. We are the best, but actually, you really understanding this way, then we are not intelligent. So we have so much ignorance because this all worldly activities, nothing benefit when we die. So if you uh, seeing your natural mind and you familiarizing that, then you become Buddha in the Pardo. So you can reach one lifetime Buddha. You don't have to go through all the samsara again and again. So see, so which is more benefit? The easy job has more benefit than difficult job. Difficult job bring the first when you does things also suffering, result also suffering. Easy job first you also happiness and also result also happiness. So when you really meditate into the nature mind, you are peace, you are joy, you get blessed, happy, right? Then that is the happiness. And the result is like you can liberate in the pardo. That's also like happiness. The samsara activity is first also difficult and hard. It's never finish, never get good, all the time going on. So we knows our life, like when we was young and until know what you done. So it's always just temporarily done, right? Never actually done anything permanently benefit. So when we die, then nothing is carried with us, or is lost. That's we have to understand, and then that's the reason we supplication, Mother Tara, our perfect mindfulness, please protect us. We need mindful, we need wisdom, understanding what going on situation. So now we have to seeing mind nature and familiarize, meditate. So then this natural mind is versus next one is the absolute nature of mind is self-arising, no draw Buddha wisdom. So when you chant these verses, it's powerful. The absolute nature of mind is self-arising means actually independent, free from dualistic. No draw Buddha, say the no draw Buddha wisdom is free from dualistic, free from conceptual thoughts. So when you chant this and you love to your mind, nature, and that mind is self-arising, not dependent object. It's the natural mind is not dependent. Okay, consciousness means dependent. Usually we talk about mind, consciousness is dependent, but nature is not dependent. Actually, the consciousness is a natural mind, but when the deluded, at that time we call consciousness, is not deluded, then that time called self-arising. So when you recognize your natural mind, it's called self-arising, Buddha nature. But when you don't recognize, that time is called consciousness, because deluded mind. So then, yet because of habitual grasping due to dualistic conception, self-arising that mind is, we have this no Buddha wisdom, yet because of habitual grasping, then why we don't recognize this habitual grasping due to dualistic conceptions? We are born by it no matter what we do. So controlled by emotions. Whatever we do, just or anyway, mind is controlled by emotion. That's the reason we have to supplicate the Mother Tara of known wisdom, please protect us. So this also goes like two different ways, relative truth Tara and absolute truth Tara. So go to the commentary. The absolute nature of mind is self-arising, means that mind is not born. So if your natural mind is not born, that's why it's called self-arising. If it has a birth, then no self-arising. Self-arising means free from birth, free from death. So your mind is free from birth and death. We have already talked about the unborn mind. That's the first verses we talk about unborn mind. That's why mind is self-arising. Self-arising is not born. Born is depending upon condition. So born means like conditions, like become dependent. Our mind is not dependent. Self-arising means independent. Independent means like not permanent independent, but it's not dependent on this delusion things. My nature is unconditioned. So, and that is the reason it is called self-arising. So this information, when you hear before you have this wisdom chapter Shanti Deva, then that's great. Otherwise, here is like, if you don't have really understanding emptiness, And then that is same exactly follow the Chitta Martyrian view, because self-arising means you think our mind nature is permanent. Actually, this self-arising means like free from dual state and cannot be permanent, cannot be impermanent. So all free from that. That's why like Mayaminka teaching, when you studied and you cultivate that, you really understanding emptiness. Then you know what means mind is self-arising. Then we say here is like mind is permanent. That is okay. Permanent means like not like this non-Buddhist and this Buddhist like Chitta Martyrian talking about the permanent, not that kind of permanent. It's always there, but that is empty. So our permanent means like never lost, always there, but it's empty. So Chitta Martyrian, non-Buddhist, many they're saying permanent means cannot say emptiness. Whatever there is permanent, that no except emptiness. Mayaminka says like it is there, that means that is permanent, no emptiness, that is emptiness. Emptiness is always present. That present is emptiness. So that's Mayaminka words. As long as you understand that, then you know what means this unconditioned. And that is the reason it is called self-arising. It is always there, means always there, but it's empty. So not permanent, opposite of emptiness. It is empty, but it's always there. So that's why Mayaminka has always like something special there, but very hard to we understand it, because our mind is a conceptual mind, thoughts. We think permanent or impermanent, or it's exist or no exist. So always going on these two things. But it's Mayaminka says self-arising, it is always there, that is emptiness. My nature is not dependent. So not dependent means emptiness. Emptiness is non-dependent, not dependent. So it is self-arising. That's why it's called self-arising non-Buddha wisdom. When you chant these verses, you recognize that your mind is self-arising, always present, always there. Self-arising means always there, never lost, never departure from you. So it's wherever you go, so wherever you reborn, always with you. So that is called self-arising. Whenever you are reborn, your self-arising nature mind is never lost. That's why it's like all these samsaric beings has this self-arising non-dual Buddha wisdom. So that's why everyone has opportunity, capacity to become Buddha. If you don't have this self-arising, then these sentient beings no opportunity to become Buddha, right? Everyone no have capacity. So this is no self-arising. That means then when you reborn to the lower realms, you lost. So then we are same as the earth or piece of wood. But we have this self-arising. That's why we never lost. Wherever reborn, we have that nature. When your mind is dependent upon an object, then at the time it is not self-arising. Your mind is deluded. Self-arising means non-dual. You really have to log into your nature. When you feel it is self-arising, you log to yourself, means like not looking to yourself like I look into yourself, okay? So that is a misunderstand. Sometimes like you look to yourself means like you look into yourself, whatever you wear, your clothes, or you look the mirror, you see your body, not like that. The log to yourself means not this I board log to yourself. Your mind log to your mind. So then you see your own natural mind. This eyeball cannot see your natural mind. This eyeball seeing is a delusion, not seeing the nature. Who can see the nature? Your awareness can see your own nature. Who going to look to yourself? Your awareness mind look to your own. Uh, then you really have to log into your nature. Then you feel it is self-arising. Then your mind really recognize your awareness log to your own mind nature. Your mind is self-arising. It's there, always there, present. But it is not permanent. It's empty, but it's always there. Then you cannot say it's permanent. You cannot say emptiness. You cannot say like, oh, it's clarity. You know, it's everything's inseparable. Actually, everything's beyond the words. You recognize your own nature, your through your own experience, but you cannot put the words. That time, then you really understand. Still, you can put the words, your own words. Then that time, that is your not your nature mind, not self-arising. When you recognize your self-arising nature mind, you cannot put in the words to say something like described. So you have your own experience. That means like someone never eat candy. That person is mute, and then he cannot say the words, but he have his own experience candy's taste in his somewhere going on there, right? So like that. That time, then you really recognize what we're talking about. If you can say something, you can describe, you can put in the words, and then that time is dualistic. It's not nature self-arising. You recognize this and you gain your own experience. See, you gain your own experience. It's really beautiful. This all the yogis have that experience. Yogis and yoginis. So ordinary people didn't have this experience. Long as you have this experience, then you really wanted to meditate and practice. So then also that time, so you have to bring so many different kind of method practice. I have to put it lights on. Yeah. So only you that time then practice like we have to practice again four thoughts meditation. You have to cultivate love, kindness, compassion. You have to practice this yadam deities, and this all is support your practice. So this is the heart. You need a completely body, so you need hand, you need a leg, you need eye, you need like all this part of your body, right? So that kind is all this practice. That time every practice is necessary. So sometimes the people think, oh, I know my mind nature. I don't need practice yidam deity. I don't need four thoughts meditation. I don't need love compassion. This is all beginners. Then that who practice that they push down, and then they think I am the practitioner. I don't need this. This is all for beginners who don't know the Dharma much. They need these things. I don't need. So that time that person really don't understanding. They don't have this experience. So maybe there has lots of obstacle, or maybe there person the not enough accumulation maybe. So something like have
Khenpo, I have a quick question
so no question
for
first.
you,
Okay, so
I may.
then that time like then the practitioner who meditate really practicing, that person then knows each practice is important for them. Each dharma, each yadam deity, each meditation, all is important. All these six parameters is important. So all everything practice dharma is important. Even listening one word of the teaching. one verses of teaching, that's also important to become. So that time is the person is going to really into the Dharma. So that's like have to create all together. This is, you know, otherwise we'd say, oh, I know this nature, I'm only going to do meditate this, I don't need anything. So give up other things, also incorrect too. Practitioners, example, there, just every day, every time, every little things, even the offering bowls, chant each mantras, you know, like even smaller things, generosity for others, like taking care, or even less smaller, less practicing. So that's showing for us, right? Recognize when you get realized that you have to go do that, then you're really going to do that, I think, because you know that everything is important. So then that's also like, say, practitioner, you really know that nature, self-arising, you are into that nature, then you have more devotion for others, you have more compassion for others. You really care about all this, even the one picture of a Buddha, everything is like receiving same is the respect, same as a Buddha. So you really care about every sentient being. So that time, then you really understanding this nature mind, and then you can easily waking Buddha. So that's I feel, I understand. I don't have the realization. So just what are thoughts, what I fear, what are just my conceptually you sharing for you. Uh, at this time, you are absolute truth Tara. So you see, you recognize this, and you gain your own experience at that time. You are absolute truth Tara. Become Tara. So this is supplication Tara. So that time, then you have become that Yadam deity anyway. Main point is the same as Yadam deity. So you can be Tara, you can be Chinreza, you can be Manjushri. When you arise wisdom in your mind, that time you are Manjushri. When compassion arise, become you are Chinreza. When you have, like, you know, want to protect others and want to benefit others, maybe that time you arise Tara. So that kind of a different aspects, these Buddhas, the absolute Buddha. That is absolute truth, the Yadam deities. Relatively, of course, Tara, Manjushri, Chinreza, all they're different. But when you have this realized, then you can be either one. So Manjushri means embodiment of wisdom. Chinreza means embodiment of compassion. Tara means embodiment of all this, like we have different aspects here. So anyone can be mindful, awareness, wisdom, you know, or understanding nature, so free from fears. So anyone is can be Taras. So when you realize this nature, so you can become Tara. Tara is in your own mind, because the self-arising mind is Buddha. So then who is the Buddha? So your mind is already emerging to that same nature. Then you can be all this Buddha. That is the non-dual Buddha wisdom. Oh, yet because of habitual grasping to dualistic conception, that's the problem we have. Right? We don't recognize this. See, self-arising non-dual Buddha wisdom, we don't recognize this. The reason this because of habitual grasping to dualistic conception. See, you test yourself. How long you can stay non-dual, how long your mind go to follow the thoughts. Example, like you just 1 hour, you test yourself. Maybe 5 minutes you can stay non-dual. Almost 55 minutes is always go to non-dual. I mean, dualistic thoughts. So that's the, you know, like used to think these practitioners testing their own themselves. They can test many different ways. Each practice they can test. some these practitioners are testing their cause and effect, the karma. So they create something good. They use like the like put another side is 100 black beads. Another one is like 100 white beads. So then when the negative thoughts comes, put the black beads, and when positive thoughts comes, like put the white beads. So that way they test it, and they can test with the karma cause and effect. Which thoughts are arising, right? Positive thoughts and negative thoughts. So this usually we think is practitioners. They also have more negative beads than the positive beads. So then we are ordinary beginners. You test that way. Maybe you get only 3-4 white beads, maybe or 93, 70, 90, 96, 7, or it's a black beads you get. Then you test that again. Maybe one day you get 50-50. That time is already great, you yourself. So then like that, you can test like every meditation, different kind. So now you can test this one, see, dualistic thoughts, no door. So you can get much no door beats, okay? Mostly it's dualistic beats. If you think about one day, 24 hours, generally, if we really don't meditate, 100% this 24-hour is dualistic beats. Yeah. So within one day, maybe you meditate 1 hour. So within 1 hour meditate, really that meditation is whole really going into nature state. How many? Like very hard. Even your mind is calm, peace, but still your subtle level dualistic. So beginner meditation teachers not possible to into this nature state. Even they meditate, the focusing breath is cannot counter because focused breath is dualistic. You have subject and you have object. You focus with the object shamatha meditation. That's also dualistic stir. See? Then no door means you don't have any object, right? So then no object, no subject. So free from subject and object. Then your awareness, seeing your nature, in bid to that nature with awareness. I don't know how long we can get there. Maybe we, one section meditation, if who has this instruction, could be 1 hour, maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It's that if you can get that level, it's great. Even you get 5 minutes, it's really great. Really no door state. So that is really powerful meditation practice, but very, very hard to into that nature. But even you into the nature, going in, but easily take out because dualistic conceptual thoughts. So maybe you into the nature, you think, oh yeah, it's right. Oh, maybe no, it's gone. So not easy to shut down our mind, dualistic, conceptual. So that's you have to know, like how we think we are still practitioner, but not really practitioner means not easy. So that's where we have to testing ourselves and meditate. 24 hours a day, your mind is followed by subject and object. See, you never stay in self-arising nature for even 1 second if you don't practice Mahamudra meditation. So which meditation take into non-door is only Mahamudra meditation. So we can say Dzogchen or Mayamika, highest level Mayamika. Recognize this emptiness. If you meditate Mahamudra, then maybe Sometimes you are in natural mind and you are not deluded. That is the reason we are bound by it no matter what we do. We see this very strong habitual grasping to dualistic conception that has bound us. So all this dualistic conception bound us. We didn't have an opportunity or like, the capacity. We have a capacity, but it's this anyway, this so strong habituate dualistic conceptual, not easy to stay in the nature mind. We don't uh, bound us. We are bound by it no matter what we do. We always have dualistic conceptual thoughts. And we follow dualistic grasping, we don't recognize our self-arising nature. So we harder to recognize this self-arising nature mind. Even we recognize, but harder to stay in that nature. We, we supplicate to the self-arising embodiment of Tara. So now we supplication to Tara. This is auto level Tara. Tara is like, she has this realization, self-arising embodiment of Tara. So same is like we talk about Chinrezek. Chinrezek is embodiment of compassion. Manjushri is embodiment of wisdom. So this Tara, this supplication, 7 different verses is, we have to recognize different aspects Tara. So this section is, we supplicate to the self-arising embodiment of Tara. So now you see what difference us. Tara means self-arising embodiment of Tara. We are dualistic self-arising ourselves. So Buddha means self-arising, no dualistic self-arising embodiment of Tara, right? Sentient beings dualistically arising. So now you know where is this samsara beings come from, dualistic. Then does become strong, and all these beings arise. Where is this Buddha's arising? Is no dualistic. How do you get into no dualistic? Then we have to get rid of selfish, right? Self-grasping. So we have to cultivate love, compassion, bodhicitta, create wisdom, practice all these pure perceptions. So many different kind of method there. So that's the reason we have to apply this different kind of method. And then one day we can also become self-arising embodiment of the Tara. This is the auto level supplication to Tara. When you rest in the absolute nature of mind, at that time you recognize your own known or self-arising nature. It is absolute truth, Tara. Absolute truth, Tara, is arising your own nature mind recognizing. Relativity Tara means like we don't have our nature, our mind didn't have that capacity. We don't have that. So then someone who has that, that is called Tara. And we don't have this self-arising embodiment. So means like we don't have the non-dualistic self-arising. Who has that? Tara has that. That reason Tara is Buddha. So we don't have, we have dualistic. That's why we supplication Tara. One day, when you rest in the absolute nature mind, at that time you recognize your non-dual self-arising nature is absolute Tara, means like that non-dualistic self-arising become your own mind, you have become Buddha. So that time, then not talking about relatively true auto level Buddha, like Buddha means like our own nature is Buddha. That is absolute true protection. So you recognize that, then you have become you have absolute truth protection. You are free from all these dualistic thoughts and free from obscurations. Supplicate Mother Tara of non-dual wisdom, please please protect us. So we have to supplication Tara to that. So now we caution. Okay, Jason, you have a caution, right?
I think he got, he's been having internet connections, Khenpo, so he's been getting kicked out, so.
Oh, there we I just had a general question for you. Some people view this as a basic practice, and they skip it, or they don't put as much value into it as a brand new practitioner. Do you find, like, your experience when you do the Terra practice, a basic lowest level, do you get something new from it still at this point, or what's your take on that?
Do you remember, Debbie, what Jason says? I remember, Mr. It's like cutting, I cannot get everything due to his internet.
I couldn't get it, everything. Did anyone else? Jason, you're cutting in and out. Do you want to write it in the chat room? Your question? I think he's froze. Oh, yeah. Do you want to write it in the chat room? You were cutting in and out.
Can you now?
Maybe. Try.
Okay, I'll try to cut it real short in case we have more technical problems. You were mentioning earlier, Khenpo, that a lot of practitioners who are more seasoned come through Terra practice, sort of might view it as a basic or something they don't want to put as much of their time into practicing the basic level of Terra practice. Do you find it, with your experience, that you get something new now today whenever you do the more preliminary practice of Terra?
No, I get it. Yes, I understand. Thank you. Yes, I told this, like, see, some people, when it's we share this Mahamudra teaching, and who has these instructions, then they meditate Mahamudra, then they just don't care other practice. They say only Mahamudra, So they don't care other Sangha also, actually, and practitioner. So they don't care other practice. So that means, like, that big obstacle. Never, if you really meditate Mahamudra, never ever happen like that if you're going right direction. So that's, I give you just example, same as Gachin Rinpoche. He is practitioner, but he does all this small less practice each small less practice every time, like single mantra and all this, like, the simple ones. I mean, yes. Okay, so next, who asked question there?
Khenpo, may I ask you something? I am quite confused. The mind is not born. It's self-arisen. Okay. It's always there. But if it's always there, it's permanent. I cannot understand.
It's always there is emptiness. If that is always there is no, if it's permanent, then your mind see cannot change.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So you cannot actually create a cause and the effect, karma cause and the effect. You cannot meditate. Example, your mind is permanent, always there, permanent. Or you can meditate because it's always permanent, means no change.
Okay. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So no questions, right?
I have one, if you can hear me.
Yes.
Don't these dualistic thoughts and concepts and emotions sometimes serve a purpose? And I'm just going to use myself as an example. Today I was out with somebody and we saw these beautiful cows in the pasture. And the one calf, the baby calf cow, had a heart in the middle of it. And I said, oh, please, let's stop so I can see the cow. So we stopped and the little baby cow was so happy and it was frolicking and jumping and running, and the other cow was nursing from the mother. And I thought, oh, I was just talking about how beautiful this is, and it's so happy to see this. And then I remembered that, they have a tag on their ears. And the person I was with brought up, yes, this is all good and fine until they go to the slaughter. And that just like kind of took everything like down. And I started thinking, well, maybe I need to start talking to people again about not eating meat and not using things like leather. So all the praying in the world I could do or well-wishing is not going to save that little cow. So I'm trying to just relive the happy moment and forget about the rest. What do you advise on those kind of things, Khenpo?
That's called positive thoughts. Good.
Okay.
But that is we talked already, like we put the beats, positive beats, negative beats, like it's you follow the karma cause and the effect beats. That is a positive beats. But when we're talking about this non-dualistic, then that is a negative beats become.
Okay.
No count there. It's like no draw. It's like cow is no exist. Lisa is no exist. Then who going to helping each other there? Or is like going is the same as a TV show. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, me going to want to go and let the cows free. I know what kind of chaos that could create.
First, suffering is no exist.
Okay. Thank you, Khenpo.
That's why we can release suffering. Suffering is emptiness. And the cow is no suffering because suffering is no exist. Then object cow who going to get suffering cow, there also no exist. Who going to torture the subject also no exist. Free from these three spheres.
Okay, so I should think of the person.
That is the truth, absolute truth. But when we're dealing with other sentient beings, at that time we have to what you did exactly. We have to follow that. But when you meditate, it's like we talking about the no door is different.
Okay, how is it
When you're
different?
dealing with other beings, that time you have to what you did exactly. You do that. That's correct. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Khenpo. So I shouldn't think about the owner of the cow as somebody who's going to be, they're free of all this too. They don't exist is how I should think of them.
No. So you can whichever you can do, have dualistically, have the cow like do something. That's great. But when you meditate, don't think about the cow and anything.
Okay, I won't. Thank you, Khenpo.
So when you are into the meditation, that time let go all these thoughts.
I do. Thank you.
Negativity, don't hold anything in the mind, okay?
Okay.
That's the positive thoughts, but when you meditate, you don't hold anything like positive and negative, both are released. But then you when come back to the pause meditation, then you can think about the cow, how can you can have that. That's all positive, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
I look at the supplication to Tara as the foundation. Everything is in there from the beginning to the end,
Yes.
including the method. So I'm having trouble with what is not here that's in some of the other practices. I think they're they're all telling the same story in my mind, but
Mm.
so help me. Why would I want to practice anything else? But I do practice other stuff. But why would I want to do something else other than this?
So if you recognize that all other is the same as this, so then you can practice other also great, because you know same, and then the other also have more information, you know. So you think I'm doing same as a supplication Tara, so that's great. If you think, oh, that no same as a supplication Tara, this is something really different, then maybe you don't want, because you want to practice the same as a supplication Tara, right? Yes.
Well, no. I mean, that's what I see as the advantage is when I'm practicing something else. There's something else to learn, but there is something else to learn.
Yeah, that's giving you more information. That is something learning again. More,
Yes.
more detail.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Some area like in Tara, this teaching like directly talk, some is like indirectly, you know, many is hiding their information. So other some teaching has more clearly, you know, you understand. See, think about this root text. If you read root text, only not really understand everything. Like have commentary helps you, right?
Yeah. For example, the way of the Bodhisattva. The way of the Bodhisattva and this tie together very closely.
Yeah.
So yes, so the way of the Bodhisattva has a little bit more information, I think. Okay.
Mm. So the great thing is you see, you understand this other practice all is the same as a supplication. Everything is included here. That is the great. That's we have to understand.
Well, to be more closer to the truth, I'm beginning to understand.
Mm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so now.
Khenpo, I have a question about I got of this feeling that from your teaching that our actions, behavior is based on the dualist concept, right?
Yes.
So that in the non-dual situation, there is actually no action at all, right? We cannot behave without any, you know, our behavior is based on the dualistic.
Yes.
So so in the non-dual situation, nothing happened.
Yes. So that's why nothing happening, self-arising.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so that is not happening from our intention as self-arising. It's by itself.
Yeah. So self-arising is like no draw, but means like not doing anything. That's a self-arising. Free from the effort. No effort. Effortless, like.
Effortless, but still have actions, right? Is that
But then the action is self-arising, is always there. So you maybe meditators recognize that nature into that. Mm.
okay? So it's different aspect of action. Okay, I need to think about.
Exactly. Different aspects, yes.
Okay, God, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so then
I have a question, Khenpo. So we're talking about non-dual, and we're talking about non-dual related to the relative world and the ultimate, right? Is that correct? Like in both relative and is that right?
No dualistic means like they don't have a relative and automatic separate.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So when we are in our relative world, and we have duality.
Yes.
How do we work with that, and where does discriminating wisdom come in? Because there are certain non-dual aspects, but then we also have to have discriminating wisdom to make certain choices based upon a dualistic world. Otherwise, we would be in our relative just saying everything's okay.
What means discriminating?
Discriminating wisdom is using wisdom to determine what would be a negative action and what would be a positive action, and what would create positive causes and conditions and effects in people's lives, and what would create negative causes and conditions within our life.
Discriminating wisdom. So discriminating wisdom is the wisdom of Dharma Dharta. So the first one is how to say Dharma Dharta wisdom, right?
Dharmadhatu wisdom. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but I just, maybe someone else can reference that.
We have 5 wisdoms, like discriminating wisdom, then mirror-like wisdom, then which ones? How to call the English? So 2 already
Yeah.
there.
Dharmadhatu,
Dharma Dharta wisdom, then
mirror-like wisdom.
yes, that's our thought already. Mirror-like
Yes.
wisdom.
Equality or,
Economic.
equanimity, sameness.
Economic wisdom.
Discriminating wisdom and accomplishing wisdom, all accomplishing.
Accomplishing wisdom. That's all wisdom is the essence is the Dharma Dharta wisdom. Dharma Dharta wisdom means no door. So all this wisdom is based on this no dualistic. So then which wisdom, Debbie, are you saying? That is like not the wisdom is a no door, or this wisdom must be no door. Because all is part of Dharma Dharta,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dharma Dharta wisdom means no dualistic. And then whatever you're thinking about conceptually worldly thinking, so that is like not this 5 wisdom. That is like just victim pakishira means like worldly, like relative truth wisdom, not absolute truth wisdom.
Okay. So within our relative world, would it be more discernment then?
But this discernment means I don't know what means. So anyway, whatever we have wisdom in the worldly situation, decision is worldly wisdom, but not absolute truth wisdom. Absolute true wisdom, this 5 Buddha wisdom means like must be no door.
Okay, thank you.
So other is see or dualistic. Dualistic wisdom is like worldly wisdom. It's relative truth wisdom. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Khenpo. That's helpful.
Okay, so now we're going to meditate self-arising non-door Buddha wisdom. So you have already guided teaching, so now you look to your self-arising nature mind. Not your eye look to that, yeah, you know that. Your awareness, mindful, have to watch your own self-arising nature mind. So now we're going to do the dedication. Amanda, can you share the dedication, please? Can you chant the dedication, please?
Yes, Khenpo. Imaho. In the center is the marvelous Buddha, Amitabha of boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion, and on the left is Vajrapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful pure land of Dewa-Chen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Teyata Pinsadriya Awa Buddha Naya Soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Trikungpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo. Have a good night.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Khenpo.
Good night.
Thanks, Khenpo. Thank you, everyone.
Khenpo.